situation that was quite ironic was when the politician said, actually, it looks as though South Africans don't trust politicians. So one wonders then, what are you doing as the politician? It's never a dull moment here at the National Results Operations Centre in Tshwane, and I'm sure as that information continues to develop, we'll be keeping you up to date with that. But it's back to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Faith Mangope and JJ there at the National Results Operations Centre. Now, with more than 30% of the votes having been counted so far, the IEC is saying there's been an unprecedented low voter turnout in the 2021 local government elections. Interesting trend indeed, the sharp decline we've seen since the last election, which was in 2019. And when you compare as well local government election to local government election since 2016. But now let's go to Ethekwini's Results Operations Centre. We are joined by eNCA senior reporter Dasen Thathiah just to get the latest on the vote counting in Ethekwini. Dasen, my understanding earlier was that Ethekwini is one of the slowest counters. What can you tell us?
That's right, and that is the one to watch. I know that the ANC is still expressing a lot of confidence here because at the last count, they had about 75 of those wards that are here. There are 110 in Ethekwini, but that's the good news for the party. There's also a lot of bad news in the province. Now, in total, the IEC is looking for almost 14,000 results across the province. That will include all wards, the district municipalities and local municipalities. So that process is still undergoing, but I can tell you that right now the ANC in the province is worried. One party that isn't that worried is the IFP at this point because they are seeing something of a different trajectory, it seems. And let's now bring into the conversation the IFP's campaign manager, Mr. Naren Singh. Mr. Singh, I see that you have a smile on your face, and that is because there have been some significant victories, and I'll say victories for now because we haven't received the official results, but from what you're seeing in the numbers, it's looking good.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. It is looking very good for the IFP. It's something that we've been hoping would happen because we started with this trajectory in 2011 with local government elections when we didn't do as well. And we moved on to 2016 and there we did much better. And 2019 we increased the trajectory, and now 2021 we're on the upward. And our next target is 2024.
And again, this success we can see in the north. But that wasn't necessarily a surprise per se, because that has always been your stronghold, save for the time when the NFP took quite a significant amount of your support.
Well, if you look at results that have come in now, you'll see in the western areas, areas that we formerly knew as Newcastle, Ladysmith, Danhauser, Escort, who is now Mchezi, we are likely to take the districts there. So from controlling 2 district municipalities, we are likely to take 5 district municipalities, which is a significant jump in terms of the support. And we want to thank all our supporters who came out in numbers, because we believe it was the leadership of Prince Buthelezi. It's the legacy of Prince Buthelezi this year. We're celebrating it, and I think we've done him honors by achieving this kind of result. And President Hlabisa also led from the front. So I think all in all, we are on a good wicket for now, but it's never over till the fat lady sings, as they say.
True.
And we're waiting to see what kind of results we have in the urban areas of Ethekwini.
That's where I wanted to go next, because as I mentioned, there was not really a surprise in those areas that you mentioned, but you also had a strong campaign in suburbia, right? What has happened here? Are you seeing a lot of anything significant, any movement here?
Well, yes, in the urban areas we've taken a lot of votes. I think our vote tally has increased considerably from the results that we are getting unofficially. And even in the south, the Ugu region, we've taken 7 or 8 wards from the ANC as currently. And I think our numbers are going to increase significantly to give us more warm bodies as PR councillors in those municipalities, because we want to make a difference in those municipalities in terms of the way they are governed.
But what did you do here in Ethekwini? Because the perception has been, and we get this because we've been on the ground quite a bit, the perception has been that the IFP is more of a rural party. How did you try to attract those voters here? Because we're seeing that the numbers are not as high, and maybe that didn't necessarily work.
Yeah. No, well, that's a perception. Firstly that it's a rural party, then it's a Zulu party. But if you look at people like myself and others who've been there for more than 30 years in the party, and and the leadership role and positions that we hold, one would realize that it's a party that promotes social cohesion, promotes inclusivity, and that is because of the true leadership of Prince Buthelezi, because he's the one who leads that program from the front. In Ethekwini, I mean, we've gone around talking about how we as the IFP, with a new image, with trying to attract young voters, can make a difference in the governance of Ethekwini. And I think under the ANC leadership, Ethekwini has failed dismally in terms of governance, with your rates and increases, your invoices not being given on time, this service delivery issues in Ethekwini. And I think people must have realized that they need a fresh, influential partner, because that's what we want to do in some of the urban areas. We want to influence governance through examples that we've had from the municipalities that we have run.
Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Singh. Well, the counting and I guess the temperature continues to rise here at the results center in Durban. You know, we just took a walk out to where the political parties are, watching those results come in, and I can tell you there that there are a lot of stressed looks on faces, quite different to the campaign trail that we saw. But it will only get worse, I imagine, as the numbers start to come in, particularly for those who don't see those numbers that they had expected initially.
Yeah, and you know what, Dasen, looking at our predictions here earlier, speaking to Yan Yube, you can see that red wall building up in the northern part of Zululand. But we have to wait, of course, for the official results whenever they come. But at this moment, likely that the IFP will be in charge of a number of municipalities in northern Zululand. And vote counting, of course,